Senator Leahy asked the House managers, the President's counsel argues that there was no harm done, that the aid was ultimately released to Ukraine. The President met with Zelensky at the UN in September, and that this President has treated Ukraine more favorably than his predecessors. What is your response?
Mr. Chief Justice and Senator, thank you so much for your question. Contrary to what the White House counsel has said or has claimed, that there was no harm, no foul, that the aid eventually got there. We promised Ukraine in 2014 that if they gave up their nuclear arsenal, that we would be there for them, that we would defend them, that we would fight along beside them. 15,000 Ukrainians have died. It was interesting the other day when the White House counsel said that no American life was lost, and we are always grateful and thankful for that. But what about our friends? What about our allies in Ukraine? According to Diplomat Holmes and Ambassador Taylor, that our Ukrainian friends continue to die on the front lines, those who are fighting for us, fighting Russian aggression. When you fight Russian aggression, when the Ukrainians have the ability to defend themselves, they have the ability to defend us. The aid, although it did arrive, it took the work of some senators in this room who had to pass additional laws to make sure that the Ukrainians did not lose out on $35 million additional dollars. And contrary to the president's tweet that all of the aid arrived and that it arrived ahead of schedule, that is not true. All of the aid has not arrived. And let's talk about what kind of signal withholding the aid for no legitimate reason. The president talked about burden sharing, but nothing had changed on the ground. Holding the aid for no legitimate reason sent a strong message that we would not want to send to Russia, that the relationship between the United States and Ukraine was on shaky ground. It actually undercut Ukraine's ability to negotiate with Russia, with whom, as everybody in this room knows, is in an active war, in a hot war. So when we talk about the aid eventually got there, no harm, no foul, that is not true, senators, and I know that you know that. There was harm and there was foul. And let us not forget that Ukraine is not an enemy, they're not an adversary, they are our friends.
Thank you. Senator Cruz.
Mr. Chief Justice, I send a question to the desk.
Senator Ted Cruz from Texas. Once an adversary of the president, now a close ally.
The question is addressed to counsel for the president. As a matter of law, does it matter if there was a quid pro quo? Is it true that quid pro quos are often used in foreign policy?
Is Cruz talking?
That's his question.
Who are they asking the questions to?
To Chief Justice.
Chief Justice, thank you very much for your question. Yesterday, I had the privilege of attending the rolling out of a peace plan by the President of the United States regarding the Israel-Palestine conflict.
Another Jew.
And I
Dershowitz.
offered you a hypothetical the other day. What if a Democratic president were to be elected and Congress were to authorize much money to either Israel or the Palestinians, and the Democratic president were to say to Israel, no, I'm going to withhold this money unless you stop all settlement growth, or to the Palestinians, I will withhold the money Congress authorized to you unless you stop paying terrorists. And the president said, quid pro